Now, in a little under 2 hours' time, St Paul's Cathedral will hold its first ever Iftaar to mark the end of today's Ramadan fast for Muslims. Young people of all faiths and none will join the Bishop of London, the Chief Rabbi and the Mayor of London, who's fasting himself. Well, Asad Ahmed is in St Paul's and can tell us more. Asad.
Alice, if London wanted to send a message of interfaith unity around the world, there's probably nowhere more magnificent it could do it than here, St Paul's Cathedral. That's why, for the first time in its 322-year history, it's holding a Muslim Iftar. That's a breaking of the fast during the holy month of Ramadan. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But first, there are some Muslims in South London who are trying to end the confusion as to when Ramadan actually begins by looking up at the skies. Miriam Francois has been speaking to them.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
As the sun sets in South London, local Muslims have gathered to see whether the new moon, which marks the beginning of the Islamic month of Ramadan, can be spotted.
What happens when you spot the new moon?
It's Ramadan.
You get a lot of news saying it's fasting, it's Ramadan tomorrow, but we don't actually go out there and see it for ourselves.
This is actually the first time for us actually coming to experience and see if we can sight the moon ourselves.
The Islamic calendar is based on lunar visibility, meaning you have to see the new moon with your naked eye. And that's what all of the people who are gathered here today are hoping to do. The only problem is the British weather isn't always playing ball.
Now our problem is it's totally cloudy.
Sheikh Suleiman Ghani is the Imam at Purley Islamic Community Centre, which is getting ready to welcome worshippers for Ramadan.
The main confusion is, do we follow local sighting or do we follow global sighting?
He's been educating his community on how to identify the new crescent moon.
It is the rays of the sun which falls on the moon, and that is what we are able to see.
But the debate over the start of Ramadan isn't purely academic.
If you want to take time off work, you don't know which day.
We always end up doing it a day later, and then my brother is always at work.
The weather may have thwarted the moon sighting on this occasion, but Muslims here are hopeful they can establish their own UK-based Islamic calendar in the future. Miriam Francois, BBC London News, Purley.
Well, Ramadan has definitely begun, I can tell you that. And here at St Paul's, there are over 100 young people who have come to join the Iftar. Hannah, first of all, you're Jewish. You're here in a cathedral to observe the Iftar, which Muslims do. That sends a message out by itself, doesn't it?
It definitely does. I mean, in Judaism, we also have fasting, so it's really interesting to come together as young people today to understand different people's traditions and customs. And in this growing, more polarised world with rising divisions and increasing Islamophobia and anti-Semitism in Europe, it's really good to come together as a community today and see what we have in common.
And Jack, you are of no faith, but you're here, you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant that St Paul's and the NAS Legacy Foundation are bringing together young people, empowering them, putting them centre stage so we can discuss faith issues.
And Enab, you're a Muslim, one of a million here in London. What does it mean to you for St Paul's to open its doors for an Iftar?
It gives me so much strength. It makes me feel so empowered that we're here with different faith leaders, politicians, giving a message of strength and unity to the rest of the world.
And Hardeep, you're here as a Sikh, a proud Sikh here, joining in too.
Absolutely, very great pleasure to be here, and I think it's really important to partake in each other's cultural traditions. By doing so, we are able to understand each other better and move forward as a humanity.
Certainly does. Bishop of London, you've heard what the young people have to say. You've opened your doors. Why was it so important you opened your doors this year?
Well, everyone's welcome, but this represents London, people of all faith and of no faith, and it's so important for us to understand what we have in common, but also celebrate our differences, and that's good for a cohesive London.
And coming so close after what happened in Sri Lanka and New Zealand as well.
Absolutely, it's so important that those of us of faith, when one faith is injured, we're all injured, and so therefore we're standing together with each other, but also saying that difference is important and we should celebrate it, it should not be feared.
That's wonderful. Bishop and young people, thank you so much for your time. Well, the Iftar, the breaking of the fast, takes place about 8:35, so the people here haven't got too long to wait, nor have the hundreds of thousands of Muslims across London. Back to you, Alice.
Asad, enjoy the evening there. Thank you.